Greetings and welcome back to another video. Here we go again. Another indictment for Mr. Trump. America, I think you can now be classified as a banana republic. This is insane. This is something we see normally in a third world country. You never see this in a so-called established, a leading nation. This shows that the American that you know or that I was used to is now changing. And I'm saying this because if someone is in power who doesn't like their opponent in whatever shape, whatever form, they're now going after them tooth and nail to tear them apart until there is nothing left. This is what we see in a third world country. And for us to see that in America, I'm telling you, this is how America is now perceived. Not only do they go after you, they use the media, they use the entire nation to rip you apart. This is what we're seeing. And I'm bringing this to you because Mr. Jack Smith, who is the head, who is over the DOJ, the special counsel, I should say, came out to give us basically an overall of what the indictment was and how they're going to handle it. I want you to watch this video with me.
And a conspiracy to obstruct justice. This indictment was voted by a grand jury of citizens in the Southern District of Florida. And I invite everyone to read it in full, to understand the scope and the gravity of the crimes charged.
Crime.
The men and women of the United States intelligence community and our armed forces dedicate their lives to protecting our nation and its people. Our laws that protect national defense information are critical to the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced. Violations of those laws put our country at risk.
Okay.
Adherence to the rule of law is a bedrock principle of the Department of Justice, and our nation's commitment to the rule of law sets an example for the world.
Okay.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone. Applying those laws, collecting facts, that's what determines the outcome of an investigation.
Oh, really?
Nothing more and nothing less.
I beg to differ.
The prosecutors in my office are among the most talented and experienced in the Department of Justice. They have investigated this case hewing to the highest ethical standards, and they will continue to do so as this case proceeds.
Okay.
It's very important for me to note that the defendants in this case must be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law.
Okay.
To that end, my office will seek a speedy trial in this matter, consistent with the public interest and the rights of the accused. We very much look forward to presenting our case to a jury of citizens in the Southern District of Florida. In conclusion, I would like to thank the dedicated public servants of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, with whom my office is conducting this investigation, and who work tirelessly every day upholding the rule of law in our country. I'm deeply proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with them. Thank you very much.
I'm going to pause right here and add some updates to what he said. He said that the rest of the world looks up to America in terms of the rule of law. Anyone who is looking at this from the eyes of someone who is not in America, not a national, sees this as a joke, okay? I've had many conversations with people that are not in America, and one of the things that they state is this particular incident that America is going through is so similar to what they see in these other third world countries. Like, it's a joke for you to come on television and say that, oh, we are the ones to be looked up to, for everybody to see that this is how it's done, when you are a joke. Okay, we've gone through, the American people have just gone through Russia. I mean, do you remember the Durham report that was just released not even 3 weeks ago? And then we are presented with another indictment. And you see, the indictments really don't matter. It's just like somebody accusing you. You're now going to go to the courts. And, like he said, until proven guilty. So someone has accused you. Now you're going to justify. How do you justify yourself in the court so that you will not be charged with it? But the fundamental part of this whole thing is the American people are seeing this as a joke. And I don't know why the special counsel, oh my goodness, I don't know why they feel this is correct. I don't know why they feel that coming to stand in front of the nation to tell the American people that Trump has been indicted is going to cause this to be negative. I mean, you guys are killing me with this. You are really blowing my mind. I mean, you are really blowing my mind with this. And we're going to continue the video because when you see how the panel, and this is sad, this is completely sad, when you see how CNN's panel reacts to this document, again, we're doing this again, and no one seems to, it's like, I got the proof. I got it every time. When we're going through the Russia, I got it. We have pictures of him peeing on a hooker. We have conversations. We have this. We have that. Every time they would come with almost swearing that I have the fact. I have the. And then we go through all of that, and it was nothing. The law in America states that a president has the right to declassify classified documents. Even if Trump did not classify them, with the DOJ and the special counsel, the correct thing to do is bargain with this man. Talk to him. There's no way to come and do this and embarrass your nation in front of the world. It's like, hello, you're fighting amongst yourself and you're nitpicking at each other, forgetting that you're supposed to be the big and bad. But the big and bad, the big and the bad, you ain't got your stuff together. And then you're going to tell other nations how to put their home together. You don't stand a chance. You don't stand one chance. And for all Americans, I'm telling you, oh, y'all could come back and comment on these videos. This is the fuel that America is waiting for. You hate Trump so much, you don't like what he's doing. Leave him alone. Say nothing of what he's done. Ignore him. But this is fuel. You're pouring fuel on the fire. And guess what? All the dead cells, all the people who really don't care, who are nonchalant, who don't care about your policies and your nationals and all of that, they are going to side with Trump. They will side with him because they're going to ask you, what happened to Hillary? Hillary had documents. Okay, what did she do? She destroyed hers. Pence had documents. What did he do? You asked him for it. He brought them to you. Biden had boxes of documents. Where? In a garage. Where did Trump have the documents? Concealed in a room, in a bathroom, somewhere that you would not have common access to. Listen, the whole thing is here. No one is supporting Trump in what has happened. I want y'all to get this right. It's not about supporting what he's done. What I'm underlining here is the injustice, the unfairness that you're putting your nation through. And you expect the nation to be one under God. You expect it to be one. Like, you expect the nation to come together and be what, like one nation under God. Y'all need to get it together. Watch this video.
Why Florida, sir? Why did you decide to bring the case in Florida?
That was Special Counsel Jack Smith. We knew he wasn't going to take questions, even though one eager reporter attempted there. Speaking at the Justice Department, talking about the federal charges facing former President Donald Trump and one of his aides, the indictment released this afternoon detailing 37 charges facing Mr. Trump, including the willful retention of national defense information and obstruction of justice. Let's discuss with my panel. And Laura Coates, let me start with you because I want you to translate for us when Jack Smith says that they are going to pursue a speedy trial pursuant to all the rights that the accused has. What does that mean? How soon might this trial begin?
Well, he obviously is aware that the Department of Justice has a policy. They don't want to do anything that might interfere with an election. We know we are 500 some days away from the presidential election.
And 2 months from the first debate.
And 2 months from the first debate. And of course, primaries ahead of that and after that as well. He's aware of that. And the talking point is obviously out there. And he tried to undermine the idea of the adherence to the law as a bedrock principle, and nothing else was actually the reason to do this. He's aware of that. And so with an eye towards that notion, he is trying to confirm to the people of the United States who are hearing him right now that they are going to do everything that they can. Now, that does not mean that the judge or everyone else in this case will do everything that they can to do this before any of those timelines, because as you can imagine, if, for example, Donald Trump somehow secures the RNC nomination, and if he is able to become the president of the United States yet again and win over the Democratic incumbent, then that would mean that any period would actually toll at that point, because now you can no longer continue to pursue a case against a sitting president based on DOJ guidelines. And so the speed and the timing will both be a friend and a foe of Jack Smith.
And Andy McCabe, let me ask you, as a former FBI official, is it unusual that the Justice Department decided to release the indictment today? And if so, why do you think they did?
Highly unusual. The normal order is the indictment remains sealed until the defendant is presented in court at the arraignment, which we know in this case...
Tuesday in Miami.
That's right. Tuesday in Miami, about the same time we're at today. So that's how it normally happens. I'm a little bit surprised that they released it early here, simply because I think it would have been in their advantage to be able to say, we followed the normal process with respect to this remarkable defendant in every possible instance. However, I think that DOJ capitulated in some respect to the enormous pressure that's been put on them by we in the media and some political figures saying, like, this thing is so volatile, people are so interested in it, the American people need to see these facts today. So that's what they did. But this press conference, very clearly, this was like a cover letter, right? There was no substance here. What Jack Smith wants us to do is read the indictment. And he started his comments by saying exactly that. We have one set of laws. Protecting information for national security's sake is incredibly important. And read the indictment. And that's basically all you got.
Dana Bash, a lot of the Republicans out there running for president against Donald Trump, with the exceptions of Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson, a lot of them running to Donald Trump's defense.
Yeah, and I literally just got a text from a veteran Republican strategist not affiliated with any of the presidential campaigns saying, if a candidate can't make an effective argument that this guy might very well be in jail, I don't know what they can do.
He won't be in jail.
No, they probably won't.
See, this is where I know the media has it wrong. The media is so involved in their feelings and their own narrative that at any point in their discussion, they're not willing to lift their head and look at the response of the American people, because the American people have a voice. And in this nation, the way the nation is ran is through casting your vote. Even if you disagree with the Trump base, what you have to understand is Trump had over 7 million votes from the previous election. That should tell you that this man has a type of backing, and they're making it. They're setting up a plan where they're hoping that at least some percentage of that base will be so upset that they will run from Trump and go to whoever that Republican nominee will be. But they're forgetting the bigger picture. What Trump did when he was president was really it affected everyone. Okay? And it's not something that you just ignore. You can't ignore what my pockets were telling me. You can't ignore my security. I couldn't ignore my financial I couldn't ignore gas prices. I cannot ignore these things. I couldn't, or I still can't. So even though you're telling Americans to hate this man, you're telling Americans that this man is a monster, you're telling the Americans that this man is no good, you were not in their shoes. And for many Americans, this was one of the best times in their lives. And to even make matters worse, guess what? His predecessor did a very bad job. Okay? Biden is really doing a terrible job. So much that the difference is so glaring. It's just so in your face. You cannot ignore it. So with this, I am telling you guys, with this, it is either America will come out and vote for Trump like you've never seen, just to upset. I mean, personally, they're gonna vote based on their pockets, number one. And if people are voting based on their pockets, you know Biden is out. We don't even have to talk about that. But if people go the next step and say that this is injustice, this is not the rule of law, this is outrageous, then guess what? Biden will be booted out. And that is where America will stand. So at this point, if Trump is to get back in office, then if you're really, really going to go by the law and you're not going to bend, you're not going to place yourself in a way where you can respect an ex-president or respect people who have governed your who have been leaders for you at some point, respect them in a certain manner, then guess what? A lot of people will be going to jail. And that's where Americans will see the truth. And I think that is how Trump will end up really restoring a lot of things in America. Because when he first came, Hillary had destroyed however many classified stuff. Nothing happened to her. He kept saying she would go to jail. She would go to jail. Nothing happened to her. And Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and all those people, the dossier, everybody who was involved, it was just like nothing happened to them. But at this moment, if we, the American people, are going to enforce the law on its full measure, then guess what? It's going to be war. Then we're going to say that for real. Then the lefts will say that America is really a banana republic. Because they're going to say, oh, he's only coming for them because they indicted him and this is payback and all of that. But understand this. Understand this. The America that we know is falling apart. And it's falling apart so quickly. Not in the corners, not in the quiet places, but it's falling everywhere. And no one is able to catch it. Except the American people put Trump back in office. Because you need a strong leader. Listen, there are times in your life when an okay leader can work. but not in fundamental parts of a nation. At this point in America, you don't need a friend to lead you. You don't need someone who is smiling with you, who is in your court, who is smiling and so much worried about being your friend to lead you. At this point in America's life, America needs a leader to lead without any emotions. Okay? To lead the nation without any emotions. We need to set the nation back on track. And that is what I think Trump will do. If you've stuck with me to the end of this video, I want you to smash the like button. I'm waiting. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel.